Today's presentation is no exception. I have a high standard to hold up to live up to. So today, I think I wanted to use a new, kind of a catchy title, and you'll understand why in maybe 10 slides or so. But I decided to use this title for the presentation: How Keyword Research Can Help You Write Better Blog Posts. And hopefully that maybe caught your attention, maybe not. So actually, what's your feedback on that?
It did.
It did?
Like, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Very descriptive.
So I think I presented this a few months ago about blogging, and there's two questions that are absolutely critical as you're writing a blog post, or as you're starting a blog, or as maybe you're evaluating your blog. And those two questions are, and they make sense: what are your goals, right? What are you trying to do? Why are you blogging, in other words? And who's your audience? Who are you writing these blog posts to? So some of the blogging goals, just to kind of, if you don't know exactly why you may want to be blogging, these are some of the ideas, common ideas or common goals why people blog. First is to establish credibility. If you're trying to establish yourself as an expert in the field, blog is a great place to do this. You can increase traffic to your website. You know, most blogs these days can be integrated with your website, and therefore, you know, having these content pieces on your website can bring in traffic to your website. Sometimes if you work in a large company, they can humanize your company. So if you have a large faceless corporation, which I'm not sure many of us here do, but that would be a good reason to have a blog, is to show the people behind the company and demonstrate that there are humans. It's not just a faceless corporation. You can generate leads or pre-sell. Pre-sell is basically telling a customer or a potential customer why you're the best at something, why you're the expert at something, and having a blog to demonstrate that information, that knowledge, your approach to doing business can really help you pre-sell individuals who may be considering you as a potential vendor or company to work with. And finally, another goal is just basically to build branding awareness or publicity. You know, as you write a blog post and share it on social media, people become more aware of your company. So these are some of the common goals people use blogs. There are many more, obviously, and yours may be on this list, and maybe you have others that may not be on this list, which is fine. So the second question that's really critical is, who are you writing for? And there are several studies or several things that demonstrate that having a persona that you're writing to or you're trying to address is critical as you're writing your blog posts. This list, actually, this is not, I did not create these lists, but this is available on the source. The link is at the bottom, and the slides will be shared, so you'll have access to that link. But it's a Kissmetrics blog post about why having different personas for your blog is very critical. And when you're talking about a persona for your blog post, you're asking, who am I writing for, right? What's their age, location, gender, education, job title? What's their environment? When and where are they accessing my site or my blog? And what device are they using? Why are they trying to, what are they trying to accomplish or complete on my site, as I'm on my site? What is their motivation? Why are they, what are they trying to accomplish? Do they have any goals that they'd like to accomplish by visiting my site? Do they have any problems, struggles, pain points? And also it helps, and you'll see this in the blog post, some companies actually create different personas. So they have a specific picture of somebody they're trying to target. So they have the techie guy, you know, maybe with his headphones, or they have, you know, the middle-aged man or woman. So they have a specific picture. That way, as they're writing a blog post, they have a specific persona they're addressing. And I think that helps in a lot of ways as you are writing it, because by definition, blog posts are personal. They're supposed to connect with somebody, right? As they read it and feel the content is relevant to them, their specific need or their specific problem. So having those personas can help you target better, or better target your blog posts. Does this make sense? And every blog post doesn't have to address. So if you have 12 different, maybe that's too much, if you have 6 different personas that you feel your blog would cover, maybe not every blog post can touch up on all the needs and all the reasons why somebody from every persona is on there. So you can have a blog post that can address 1 or 2 personas, and then a different blog post can address other personas. Does that make sense? Does anybody recognize this person? His name is John Morrow, I think. He was, he's becoming very famous. He actually is very famous. And this is I highly recommend reading this blog post, and you'll notice that the link is on copyblogger.com, which is it's actually one of the most popular blogs about blogging. And so he wrote this blog post about fighting for your ideas. And you can see that he's in a wheelchair. He's actually the oldest person in the world living with a very rare disease called spinal muscular atrophy. Okay? But that's actually not why he's very famous. He's been famous for many things. He was a senior copy editor for copyblogger.com. He's doing really well for consulting. He does a lot of consulting with bloggers, people who want to blog. And he started a blog recently. He actually has 3 blog posts, and I highly encourage you to follow that blog because I think the content on there is fantastic. And he writes really well, and actually he lives in Mexico on the beach. So, but and he'll talk actually about his medical expenses that are outrageous in that particular blog post, the link on the right. So, boostblogtraffic.com, that's his new blog or his new website. As I mentioned, he has 3, maybe now 4 blog posts. The very first one, the very first blog post that he wrote was titled "The 7 Dumbest Mistakes You Can Make While Launching a Blog." Okay? And he covered 7 things that most people make when they're launching a blog. I think that blog post is really valuable. I think everybody should read it because it has a lot of good information on there. But one particular aspect in his blog post, did you want to have access to can you see the link first of all?
It's hard to read, but just tell me what it says. Boost.
Blogtraffic.com.
But the first one about his picture is how about?
Oh, copyblogger.com. Copyblogger.com.
Copy.
/fight-your-ideas. Fight for your ideas, I'm sorry. But again, the links will be available on the slides. So the lesson that actually he concluded with for that blog post, and he actually goes over several things that people think are very important to their blogging. For example, the first one was SEO. Okay, most people think SEO is, and it is. Okay, don't get me wrong, SEO is very important. Okay, but if you're going to start a new blog banking on SEO, that's a wrong strategy, and he'll talk about that. Okay, the lesson that he concluded from this study was that it's really important to listen, to see what your community, what your target audience actually want you to write about, okay? So I put this oversized ears dog on the screen because there's different things you can listen to, right? There's obviously a lot of noise out there, but there's 2 ears for 2 reasons, and I'm very convinced that those are the 2 reasons why you have 2 ears. That's the only reason, okay? From the one ear, you have to listen to social media channels. As you're engaging on social media, if you're following people on Twitter, on LinkedIn, Facebook, you'll see what people are talking about, right? So if you monitor those conversations, sorry, I'm not your word.
Yeah, it's
Sorry.
okay.
Well,
Hey, you're the speaker. That's okay.
So by monitoring conversations, you know what your target audience is saying, what problems they're struggling with, what they're talking about, their language that they're using, and hopefully that makes you familiar with your target audience, right? So the idea is, do you follow people that you may want to target as your customers on social media, right? Because that will be important, because if you're following your friends are not your target audience, and maybe you have social, for personal reasons, social media accounts for personal reasons, but as a business owner, if you have a social media account for a business reason, you want to follow people who potentially may be your customers or your existing customers. So by following them and what they're talking about, that gives you insight on what problems they're struggling with. Surveys and questions. We talked several times about, LinkedIn questions or LinkedIn groups. There's a lot of questions on there, but on Facebook, there's a survey. So on your page, you can ask if you're trying to test a specific idea, or if you're trying to test a concept, or you're trying to tweak something, you can actually ask your clients, people who visit your page, who already like your page, potentially are already existing customers, or maybe prospective customers. So you can survey them for what they're having a hard time with. And then from the second ear, you have a business that you're running, so you already know what your clients call you and email you about, right? What questions are they struggling with? And you can assume that your client perspective would be or questions that they have may be similar to the problems that a prospective client or customer would have. So if on your blog you're addressing these problems or these questions, then you're potentially increasing your visibility, first of all, but also addressing some of the questions that people might have as they are considering your business, do business with you.
What did that say? It's an emails on the other side and then what else?
Oh, it's just common problems that you hear. And I feel like I've been talking for a while and haven't been stopped. Am I doing okay on pace? Is everything okay?
Cute dog.
Is he handsome though?
He's
Yes,
handsome.
he is.
No, he's cute.
He's cute, he's not
He's
handsome.
not handsome.
There's a distinction about it.
So by having those two ears listening, right, hopefully you, I'm sorry?
We all need validation.
Having those two ears, hopefully you'll be able to identify your audience's problems, challenges, and struggles, right? The question is, well, how do you go from that to content, whether that's a video, whether that's a podcast, or whether that's actually written in blog format? So I think that's what we'll cover today. So if you have